guys, welcome back to the channel. Franco with Trading Futures Live here. In this video I will show you my trades from today. Let's dive right in. Today is July 14th. Yesterday I did not take any trade. Unfortunately, I was not feeling very well. I think I had like a common cold or something. So I didn't even though I had that, I was looking for opportunities, but I had to call the day. I needed to rest. Today I did not have a good day, and I wanna comment about this thing that I started tracking this month, the tilt meter. I've known about it for a long time, but I didn't put a lot of weight on this. But now I think I can give it a use. To my trading plan. So this tilt meter, it accounts for, before we review the trades, this tilt meter, it accounts for the entry, exit, and the trade management, right? It's like a custom statistics, but this one is more like a summarized, right? So I said, all right, I think I can give it some use, right? So I did not have a good day. I ended up the day -2R, even though I lower my risk because I went to the trip, and every time I come back from a trip, my psychology is not the best one. So I decided just to cut my position so I can get back in track and get the momentum back, right? So my first trade, I did have this area, right? And I even commented in the live stream. And this chart looks a little bit overwhelming, but in reality it's not, right? I did have this order put here at 612 during the live stream. But when this happens, sorry, we had the first spike on the tick chart, right? So technically is too early to call the trend here, even though I put here that I put here, where is it, tick trend against. Technically is a little bit too early to call. It's just this low was created, this high was created, and then from here we can start to determine what's the trend for the day. But regardless, I put like the trend was against me. So here's where psychology plays an important role. And I canceled the order so fast, right? I canceled the order so fast. I had a limit order here. It would have gotten at least break even. I'm not gonna say I would have won this trade, right? But instead of that, I tapped into FOMO. And here's where the psychology plays a big role, right? Especially where you're not rested, where you don't have a good diet, when you don't exercise. Personally, for me, that's a must. Those three: sleep, food, and exercise, in that order, right? So now I wanted to catch into the trade. I tell George, all right, like it went. Instead of just putting the limit order here and try to wait for it to get filled, I FOMO it. Like I wanted to get in. So I put an order here in the low, stop order. So bad. Immediately it reversed, stopped me out for a loss. Small loss, fairly small loss. It was $270, right? The second trade, even worse. I did FOMO it again. I did got in a very FOMO fashion. So here I entered up in this same place. I said, all right, this stop me out. Volatility. My risk is too low. I'm trying to risk very little. The area is right here, right? It went in already. Okay, this time it's gonna go. Again, I try not to trade this way, but sometimes your psychology is messed up. Even me or us, that we have been trading for 4.5 years. This can happen to anyone. So I entered up here, stopped out again, same place, right? 2 times. All right, so it went up, and instead of just putting the order here, right, which would have given me probably break even, here would have given me break even. That's fine. My third trade ended up being a break even, but not because my entry was a good entry. I still think I FOMO it, right, for the third time. I could have gotten either here. The correct way to enter this trade was here, right? Instead of that, I waited for this, and then when I started to break down, that tick chart was giving me better signals though. It didn't break all this high. Here didn't break all this high on the ADQD. So I decided, all right, George, I'm gonna be very aggressive here. And I enter up here. Here was I think it's the worst entry of all of them, because I put FOMO, yeah, but I think this one is the worst entry of all of them because it was a market order. I try not to do that, right? So I was winning, so my risk was around here, and when it moved 1-to-1 around here, right, I moved my stop break even, and after they stopped me out break even, I think I created this high though. And it moved, right, it moved to the right direction. Again, FOMO the entry, stopped out after break even trade, which is neutral, and stop move break even after 1-to-1 is a neutral statistic, right? I didn't make any money, I didn't lose any money. On my last trade, my location was clearly not good, but I was acting a lot more technical this time. I did have this area, right, but I didn't take a limit because of the location. So I waited for it to come inside 50% or more of the zone, and the tick chart, if you guys see here, I am against the trend because this one was up, and here was creating higher lows, right? Apparently I didn't care much about this, which it doesn't talk good about me or my trading, but psychologically are mistakes that you can make, right? So here it doesn't look very bad, even though it was extremely low. It was retracing, so I do require that to be moving in that direction. The good part here is that the tick was not creating a fresh new high. But all right, it moved 1-to-1, and I moved my stop break even, ended up break even for a grand total of -2R today. I'm still up for the week, almost 4. Certainly my expectancy came down sharply, but I think with one more winner or 2 more winners, I can get this to $250, right? So with that, I'm gonna pass it over to George. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and hit that notification button so you can be aware of every time that we go live. 9 a.m. for the pre-market, and 9:20, 25-ish for the live trading. Thank you.
Thank you, Franco. In this daily recap, I am essentially break even today. Well, I'm down a quarter R. I lost $114, as you can see down here on the bottom right. It was only a 2-point loss, though. Just my I moved my stop just above break even on the short. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at the trade though. Right, I lost minus 0.23 of an R. It was a momentum breakout with a pullback to the downside on the ES. Got in the trade at 9:45 and held in until it pulled all the way back to break even at 9:54. So in the trade for about an hour and 10 minutes. Let's go ahead and take a look at the trade. This is the 2-minute chart. The market opened up right here. This is the first 2-minute candle of the open. Near the low of the day, but not at the overnight low. This was created at 8:30 on some news. But the market basically shot straight down. Internals showed a good sign of weakness. I had a limit order set up here. Got in the trade. I took a little bit of heat early on. So this is my 2-to-1. this graphic right here. Entry, stop up here, 10 points. T1 was 20 points away, 2-to-1 target. Unfortunately, it never made it there. It got to about 18 points or so, 18 of the 20. And then reversed. That was around 10:15 in the morning. That new 15-minute candle was the low of the day so far. What I really want to review is this spike here. It didn't come back to break even. Even though I had gotten close to 2-to-1, I did not move my stop. I left my stop where it was, and when it pulled back to here, if we take a look at the internals at that time, that's kind of what I wanted to point out. That candle was right here, was 1034, closed at 1034. And if we come here to the internals and look at the spikes here at 1034, so it spiked up here and made a new high on the day, and that was kind of the signal that this officially wanted to reverse and go long, right? And this is where I need improvement is, yes, the internals had turned around and started trending up, but not until a bit later. It didn't break out until 11:40 after my trade. I mean, I was still in my trade, which as far as the advanced decline line goes, that was all still below the high, right? This is the high I created around 10 o'clock, and I was still in this trade for all of this. It didn't really break, right? We were still trending down at that point. Hadn't even touched the 21 EMA went out while I was still in the trade. So the advanced decline didn't give me any signals, but the tick chart here at 1032 is that same candle that was that spike up. And then when it pulled back here and it held and was quickly rejected off, right, this new high was really the signal that this wanted to turn around and potentially go up. And so maybe I could have gotten out of the trade, right, a little bit earlier and maybe preserved some capital, or at least scaled out when it created this new high. I could have said, okay, instead of taking my first target at 2R, I could have taken my first target here and scaled out some instead, which it did. After this spike, it did come back to that area, right? So I could have scaled out some there, and maybe made a little bit of money. Really, that's it. I wouldn't have been anything spectacular, because it would have only been a scale out, and then I would have gotten stopped out break even. So nothing that I can really complain about much. It's semantics at that point as far as my trade management, but something I'd like to work on and get better at is recognizing, okay, new high, a solid rejection of this low, and so maybe this wants to turn around and go up. Instead, what I was kind of looking at was the fact that I wanted to be short. I had this trend line, and it finally broke down to the trend line, so that kind of gave me some confidence in the trade, which is why I didn't scale out in all reality. But essentially a break-even trade. I would take it again. I would take it again in a heartbeat. The only difference that I would maybe do is that I got filled in the first minute of the new 15-minute candle. which showed a lot of buying pressure. So I maybe could have either waited for the right price action, or which would have gotten me, or really I would have waited for that type of price action, and I probably would have been in there or breaking below, none of which would have helped me. Or I could have moved my limit order up and say maybe gotten in here, risking more of this 5-minute candle instead of where I got in there. Because if we take a look at the, well, it won't copy over to the 5 minutes. So, but yeah, so maybe a better entry would have actually hit T2 down here. That's really the only thing that I could have essentially done differently. It is what it is. That brings me back to break even on the week. I was break even on the week going into today. I'd like to maybe take a trade in the afternoon. We'll see if that happens, and maybe I'll get another recap later. That being said, thank you guys for joining us. Please like and subscribe, and we'll catch you guys tomorrow morning for the pre-market analysis and our live trading again. Catch you guys tomorrow.